Absolutely, Frank. And really it comes on the back of the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, the staunchest critic, which effectively blocked this Microsoft-Activision deal. They came out after the FTC's decision and effectively said they're ready to consider any proposals from Microsoft to restructure the transaction in a way that would address its concerns. So they've gone from saying absolutely no to the deal to coming back to the negotiating table with Microsoft. So what were the CMA's initial concerns? It really revolved around the cloud gaming market and their concern that if this deal goes through, Microsoft will take a leading position in what is a very new and young market right now. They were also concerned about Microsoft making Activision games such as Call of Duty exclusive to its own platforms. Now, at the time, earlier this year, when the CMA said that and blocked the deal, Microsoft offered some concessions. They said that they would allow some of the Activision games to be licensed to other cloud gaming players over a 10-year period as a way to allay some of those concerns over exclusivity. The CMA, however, rejected any of those concessions at the time. They said they would be effectively hard to enforce, and also they said there's a potential for conflict between Microsoft and some of these other cloud gaming providers, and actually some of these concessions really don't go far enough to allay the CMA's concerns. So the question is, if the CMA rejected those concessions earlier this year from Microsoft, what exactly will the company offer even more to get the UK regulators on their side? But all in all, investors pretty happy about the movement from the CMA coming back to the negotiating table, because the UK regulator, the CMA, is effectively the last hurdle here, really, for the Microsoft to clear in order to get this deal over the line. And so they're happy that the regulators are talking to Microsoft again and hoping for a resolution, Frank.
All right, right now we're showing the stocks of both Microsoft and Activision. Activision moving about 0.5% higher in the pre-market. So I want to kind of pull on this thread a bit more. Our Steve Kovac's done a lot of great reporting on this, saying that Call of Duty seems to be a point of contention, whether it's going to be available on both platforms. So give us more insight here. What other possible concessions might we see from Microsoft to appease these UK regulators?
Yeah, so Microsoft has already signed a 10-year deal with Nintendo, effectively making Call of Duty available on its platform whenever it comes out with the same quality. It's offered a similar concession to Sony, but actually Sony hasn't signed the deal. But it's early days right now in terms of what they can offer the UK regulators. They could say, well, offer more concessions in terms of the terms of the deal, in terms of the way they're giving these games to other platforms, the length of the agreement, for example. And interestingly, I think it'd be to watch, very early on in the CMA's probe, they said to Microsoft, we'll let this deal go through if you manage to divest the Call of Duty business completely. At the time, Microsoft said, well, this is impossible. How do we divest just this one game out of Activision? So it would be interesting to see if the CMA brings that back onto the table as well. So